Shaggy, you and Flo Rida are teaming up with Orlando attorney Dan Newland for a free concert at the Hard Rock. After more than a year of economic woes, why give a free concert?
I have to give all the credit to Dan Newland. I've known Dan for a couple of years now, and we've done, some work with him, a lot of work with him, and doing concerts for his law firm and stuff like that. So, he came up with the idea, and I automatically thought it was great because obviously it's the frontline workers, and it's such a good cause. It made sense, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. And then he spoke to Flo, and we were all like, okay, let's make it happen. And I think what really got me was when he actually put it up and said, started to promote it and put it up, and how overwhelming the response was. That really, I was like, wow, because I think it's a really small place, like a 6,000 capacity place, and he did. It was like 30,000 people trying to get into this place. I was like, whoa, this is crazy, And the frontline workers have been our heroes throughout these past 2 years, and I think they've suffered tremendously, and it must be such a stressful job to be having that amount of flow of people coming in to them. And, this is just an opportunity for them to let their hair down and just, blow some steam off. And this is for us to say thank you, and I've had a lot of people that have died from COVID, and I have a lot of people that had COVID and have recovered from COVID. And
I was actually
so I'm
just gonna
happy for that. Yeah.
I was actually just going to say, the pandemic affected everyone in so many different ways. And I know you just said that you had some people pass away. How has the last year and a half been like for you? And how do you keep your spirits up?
You just do it just like everyone else. You try to stay, focused, and try to stay occupied, and really take the opportunity to spend some time with your family. I got to know my family a lot more than I would have normally because I'm always touring. And I started to realize there was, when you work so hard and you continue doing, and music has this, to do with this for a while, you realize that sometimes you don't get to smell the roses, you just keep going. And this gave me an opportunity to really sit back and be like, okay, value in my life, formulate a plan, and realize the importance of family and stuff like that. And it was really, really good.
Yeah, I think a lot of people put importance on things that they didn't before the pandemic now. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So some people might think Shaggy and Flo Rida, how does that musical pairing work? One's rap, the other is reggae. But you've been known to have some interesting collabs. In 2019, you did a Tiny Desk concert with Sting. What was it like working with him, and how did the two of you get together?
Sting and I are buddies, man. He's my very, very close friend. One of the greatest people I've ever met. One of the best musical experience I've ever had in my life. And if I'll go as far as say probably the best musical experience I've ever had in my life. As far as the best tour, the best time I ever had, the best pairing, zero ego, just a beautiful situation. And and you're right. I have, because I'm reggae, and everything to me starts from reggae. It's easy for me to pair with any genre, because everything starts from reggae. A lot of people might not want to admit that, but if you look at just every genre that there is, it comes out of reggae and dancehall. You know what I mean? So there is, reggae music and the culture of Jamaica it's a soul. You know what I mean? And it's sometimes with reggae music, you don't just hear it, but you feel it. You know what I mean? And that's what every other music gets from.
Okay, so you've been making music since the 90s with songs like Boombastic or my favorite, Angel, and you're still dropping gems as you're featured on one of the hottest dancehall songs out right now, Godonde by Spice, featuring you and Sean Paul. How do you keep the creative juices flowing?
I try to keep my finger on the pulse. I'm surrounded by a lot of young people. I have an ability to spot talent. Um, and that's just from talking to feeling people and just using my ear. My biggest gift for me is I have two really great gifts in music that I was blessed with. One was my voice, and the other one was my ear. And I don't play music as far as instruments, but I could hear it. I could hear when something goes wrong. I could hear when something is off, and I could figure out how to fix it. You know, if I have really capable people around me. And I surround myself with really good musicians. I keep myself with young musicians and young artists around me because they are the voice of the street. I can't tell you that I'm in the streets anymore. I'm just not. You know what I mean? But I'm surrounded by people that's in the street. So when it's time for me, I'll know the new slang and the new vibe by just dealing with them and just kind of realizing how it was and then just kind of go. But then I use my experience of 30 years of how I know songwriting because songwriting is a craft, you know what I'm saying? But it's the feel that you put behind it that makes it now. You know what I'm saying? That makes it whosoever that artist is. And I could sit down and like with Spice, I knew what I wanted to do with her when I was doing her album. I know what I wanted to do with a single and how she would sound and where I wanted to take it. And
And this is a long awaited album from her, right?
10 years, yeah.
Yeah.
10 years. It's the album is entitled 10. It comes out the 30th of this month. My life has been consumed with it for probably the last year, about 2 years, but mostly for the last year. And on the 30th, I get to move on to something else. Not saying that it's a bad thing or anything, you know what I mean? But I've just been consumed with. I've been living in Spice World for a while, so.
Mm-hmm. So speaking of being able to move on, what can we expect next from Shaggy? What you got in the hopper?
I started working on a hip hop reggae album. A lot of people don't know that dancehall particular started. A lot of house dancehall became big and huge started from the remix, the hip hop remix. Tour by Capleton, Get the Red Hot Super Cat. Slow and Sexy Shabarangs. House Call. All of these records that were big records that really crossed over in the early '90s were remix records, hip hop remix. And hip hop comes from dancehall, and reggae. So I just feel it's almost a celebration of the craft, of the art form. And so I said it would be really, really cool to just do that. And so I've started I've written a couple of songs and did a couple of tracks, and we're just, me and the team just been having fun doing it. So I think we'll finish that and hopefully have it by this year.
And I know you said you were over capacity for registrations for this concert. So will there be more concerts in the future?
Dan and I spoke about doing a second one because, it's the numbers were staggering, the amount of people that wanted to go. And so we're probably going to do one in September again. And, I think people should just stand by for detail. All the people who've been hitting me in my DM really saying that they couldn't get in because it was sold out. Stand by. We're coming with another one again. And we might switch the lineup a little bit, or probably add because we realized that that the 30,000 people or more that actually wanted to come to this one, they wanted to see Flowrider and Shaggy. To do it again, we're probably going to add somebody else to it. So we're still talking about that. Big up to Dan. He's such a mastermind. Yeah, he's a brilliant guy and a guy with a big heart.